Hi, I'm Anna Nissen, and I have the honor of talking with Sandy Gillen. We are both longtime members of Kittamuckundy community, and I'm going to learn out all about her, things I never even knew before. So, Sandy, are you ready for the grilling?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right, then. Sandy, what brought you to Kittamuckundy? Lo, these many years ago. When was it, and how did you even hear about this place?
I heard about it from the Columbia Flyer, which was a weekly newspaper that was delivered to everyone who lived in Columbia. And they had an article about Kittamuckundy Community Church. And that one Sunday, when they were doing the parable of the talents.
So that got you, the article got you to come here.
Well, the article piqued my interest.
Uh-huh.
And when I read through it, it was, they passed out the offering baskets with money in the baskets, not money that you were going to get your wallet out and put in there in the basket.
The baskets arrived already full.
Yes.
Oh.
And you were to take whatever amount, you were to think about, gee, what would I do with this money? And I thought, gee, that's really a very unusual way to work a parable. Anyway, so I called the office and asked about when the service was, and I wanted to know what I should wear. And partly because I grew up at a time where you wore your gloves and you wore a hat, and it was much more formal. And the person on the other end of the line, I don't know who it was, sort of giggled. And they said, oh, you can wear anything you want to. And which was absolutely true. If you came in jeans and a t-shirt, or if you came a little more dressed up, however you arrived was absolutely okay. So that was back in 1975.
Okay.
So that's how I
That's
got
how
here.
you got here.
Right.
And where was church? This barn, was it already ready for you?
No, it was, well, part of it was. The downstairs still had a dirt floor, but at least it had been sort of cleaned out a little bit. But it was very rugged. They had those big spool round tables, and everybody sat at a table, and we had discussions at the table about whatever the message was. And the first Sunday was the acting out of Adam and Eve. And when I walked in, I thought, well, I'm just going to sit closest to the door. Well, closest to the door. So you
could make an easy escape.
Well, yes, perhaps. But it was also where the worship task group sat. And those were the people who had planned, along with the enabling minister, had planned the service. So there was no way of escaping. Mm-hmm. But it was warm and welcoming.
And was it a scandalous skit?
Oh, a little bit.
With Adam and Eve, yeah.
Yes, it was. It was good.
And what was your impression? It was like, this place is weird. Oh, I love it. I don't know if I dare go back. How did you feel about it?
Oh, I loved it.
Uh-huh.
And our two boys were little. They were really little. Let's see, how old were they? Ooh, 2, 3, 4. They were 3 and 18 months. One was 3 and the other one was 18 months. And they had a wonderful, wonderful woman who was with the young children. So I felt really, really comfortable. Mm-hmm. And it was very welcoming, and it was what I needed.
Okay. What has kept you here all these years?
Certainly the community, certainly the people. Many of the same people that were there when Tim and I came, are still here. And our 3 children grew up here, being supported, really being supported by the community. If they were in something, whether it was sports or music or dance, the community was always supportive.
Were you active in a care group?
Yes, they were called mission groups.
Back then,
Then they were called mission groups. And I was in the clown group for a number of years, and that was a wonderful ministry. And then I was in the money mission group that was held at Jane Mason's house,
and now you're a caller.
And now I'm a caller.
Tell us about your new care group.
The new care group is called All Creatures Great and Small. I have loved dogs all my life. I breed and show dogs. So I have a great dog community outside of my faith community. And I thought, gee, some of the people here have had dogs, have loved dogs, but can't have a dog where they're living, or for whatever reason, they don't have a dog now, but they would like to have interaction with the dog. So our group meets a couple times a month just to pray, to read books on animals and animal behavior and what that does for your soul. And then twice a month with my dogs. I have dogs so that other people can enjoy them. And we go to one of the nursing homes here in Columbia and visit. And usually if someone's visiting with a dog, it's one person and their dog. And we arrive with 3 or 4 of us, all of us having dogs. So it's a little more exciting, I think, for the people. And so they get to know, so that the members of the group get to know my dogs. They have been
members of
my care group
yeah.
get to know my dogs. We've been going to a handling class in Elkridge. And it's actually a handling class if you were showing your dog in conformation. But the people who run it are lovely. And so the members of this care group are actually learning how to show the dog, one of my dogs, but they're also getting to know them so that they would be comfortable then when we go to Harmony Hall to visit.
Yes. So do you plan, so currently you're going or soon to go to Harmony Hall?
Oh, we've gone. We've already gone.
And will you be getting other sites that will welcome you or not?
I think that I've talked with other sites, and other sites are a little more restrictive. And Harmony Hall is absolutely open to us.
Yeah.
And my dogs are all really well socialized because they've been going to handling classes and dog shows since they've been little. So, and they know each other. So it really works well when we go in as a group. So
that's great. When I get my doggy, I'm joining your group. I know I can use yours, but the impetus is with my own dog.
Well, and that is, I'll tell you about that later.
Later.
Yes,
it's not a part of the interview. Okay. Looking back, can you remember a service or a happening that just, I'm sure there are many, but that just really hit you? One of the most memorable spiritual experiences you had. It could be in a care group, on an Easter Sunday, any particular time that just brought out so much emotion for you and a connectedness with God.
I think that it was probably, and it was early on, it was when I was in the clown mission group, and Marge Goethe, it was on a Palm Sunday, and she played Jesus. And probably it was one of the most powerful services that I've ever been to. She was just amazing in terms of how she clowns, which is just her tramp clown is pretty amazing. And I think that when we went around to the congregation and placed a nail in their hands and closed it, just that nonverbal and that symbol, I think was very, very powerful, was for me.
Yeah. What do you love most about the church? Is it the informality, maybe most isn't the right word. What are the things that keep you here? I'm going to veer a little bit. How have you enjoyed our enabling ministers, or have you not?
Oh, I have.
Uh-huh.
Each one for different reasons. Certainly with Jerry Goethe, it took me a while to get really close to Jerry. And then I think probably clowning with him a few times brought us closer. And I have really appreciated the enabling ministers that have come since then. And Claire is
our current
yeah. enabling minister, and she is just amazing. It's like she left a message. She left a message on my phone wishing me happy birthday. And I was like, whoa, I've been at this church for 44 years? And no minister has ever called and wished me happy birthday. And then a couple of times, one was, my car was hit, and I wasn't seriously injured, fortunately, but she wanted to know if I needed her. And I said, you don't need to come and see me. I am fine, but I would love to have your prayers. And of course, I knew that I would. I find that in the short time, even though it's been like a year now that she's been with us.
Almost, yeah.
I find that she has just, I feel that she holds this community in her hands and loves this community.
Mm-hmm. What would you think is the most important thing for a seeker, person who's searching for a church home, to know about our community?
Well, there were two ladies sitting behind me today, and I thought, I don't think I've seen them before. So let me talk with them when the service is over. And so I talked with them a good period of time and told them what drew me to the church and what has kept me here, and the fact that this is a church that accepts you, warts and all, and wherever you are on the path. And I feel like that my spiritual path in these 44 years there have been times when I haven't been as active in the church, and then now I'm on the council and I have a care group.
Yeah, you're a marketing mark.
So I'm more involved now.
Mm-hmm.
But there was never anything that I thought, oh, I need to find another church. No. I think the community accepts that, there may be times that you're more active than other times. And there's no, oh, well, you should be doing this or that. Not a lot of shoulds.
Right. Over the years, how many? 44? How much has Casey changed? This is a double part question. How much has Casey changed for you, and how much do you think you've changed because of Casey?
I think Casey still has the core beliefs of accepting everybody. And that's why we moved to Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a women's group for a while with Libby Rouse. And so moving to Columbia this is where Tim and I wanted to raise kids. The beliefs of inclusion and acceptance was what we wanted in a church home. I think that Casey has always been that. It's expanded that over the years, but that has always been part of what Casey is.
Yeah.
And I think that certainly kept me here. And, yes, you look around and there are lots of us who are older. And I want to see younger people come and us continue to be inclusive. So, I don't know whether I've answered your question or not.
Yeah. Can you name just think of 5 things you love most about this church?
Well, I think I've probably said some of them before.
Yeah, it's like a summary.
Okay. I love the fact that it is inclusive for everyone.
Okay.
When our kids were growing up, I loved the fact that the community supported them. And I still see that going on, even though our kids are grown and gone. I still see that there's that support around the young children in the community.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. I like the fact that there is no prescribed dogma.
Okay.
Okay.
What about the mood here?
Oh, well, the mood is always one of being open and friendly and lots of laughter. And you figure, I think there's laughter and there's tears. It's not just laughter. It's there's a lot of compassion. Even though I'm not involved in some of the work for the homeless, that work is being done by a group in the church. And I feel like everybody you have to use your own gifts in order to, that's for me anyway, part of my spiritual journey. And I think affirming gifts is something that you find at Kittamukundi. And I think that's very, very important, not only for the children, but also for the longtime members.
Yeah. You just hit something, how Kittamukundi brings out your gifts. Whoever thought that a woman who shows her dogs would realize, I've got a mission here. I've got a call that maybe others would come in. So
Well, and what is interesting is that I made that call 4 or 5 years ago. And the interesting thing about making a call is if nobody responds, then the call doesn't go forward, really, because it's just you. Well, at that point, that was a low point for me, because I thought, oh, well, I made this call and I was all excited about it, and now nobody's coming. So at the retreat this past year, they were talking calls, and I said, be aware that if you make a call and nobody responds, then that there is no call. It may still be for you, but it's not a community kind of care group and call.
So you were brave enough to come forward with your call again, and this
The
time
next day,
you got response.
I got response. And I was really, in fact, people came up to me at the retreat and said, oh, I hope you'll make that call. And I'm like, whoa. And that was a Saturday. I talked with Claire, and because I'd made it before and it had all been passed, she said, well, yeah, I don't see a problem with that. So I did. I made the call the next day. And that's been really, really good. Yeah, that's been really good.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to say that I haven't asked, but you thinking, oh, if only she'll ask this question?
I like the fact that we have worship task groups that bring their gifts to the worship services, and that they're different all the time. And you will have different kinds of music, you will have acting, you will have people dance, you will have, well, you just never quite know what you're going to have. But it keeps, I think, the spirit and the getting to know personally God and Jesus, it keeps it fresh by the fact that sometimes you're challenged by whatever goes on in the worship service. Many times I'm moved, and we have a lot of music now, which is just wonderful.
Yeah. Years of a summary of your life here
at
Kittamuckundi, and it's an amazing place, and you have contributed so much to add to this, all the gifts this church offers and all that the church helps expand in everyone. So thank you.
And thank you.